Alright, now it's time for the most important conversation, the most important video of the day, or ever. Alright, the even exchange or an exchange of yourself with someone else. Alright, when we're kids, our first interaction should be our parents. Alright, if you don't have a parent, I didn't grow up with my dad, I don't know my dad, I've never met this man, so I can't understand what a father-son relationship's like. I just respect men that come into my life and teach me valuable lessons, because if a man in my life treats me wrong, it's never going to be worse than him being my dad and leaving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never going to condemn him to his worst. It doesn't matter what he does. Like if a man literally slapped my mom in front of me, I might fight him. I'm going to defend my mom. That's out of respect and love for my mom. But him as an individual, I can't be like, why would you ever do that? What's wrong with you? Because I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, every dude is separate from me if they're not blood. So, the only dude that is blood to me is my little brother. And he's half my blood. So, I have to be there for him, you know what I'm saying? Whenever nobody else is, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. Because nobody was there for me. So, how I valued, looking up to my family, I loved my mom so much more than anybody else in my family. Because she was the mom and the dad to me. You know what I mean? And from that, you grow and you learn love, or you should learn love. Now, if you never learn love from an adult, your next option is your peers. Okay, once you start going to school, elementary school especially, you start getting friends. It's really easy to be popular in elementary school. However, the relationships after school, whenever you're going home, is when you're the most persuaded and guided for the rest of your life, basically. Because now, once you're seeing interactions outside of school, you start to care less about the interactions at school. And then you progress to middle school. When you progress to middle school, you stop caring as much about the relationships at school and more about getting the people at school that you don't get to see normally outside of school. So then you start wanting to hang out more, spend the night, you know what I'm saying, having more sleepovers, stuff like that. And from these sleepovers, now y'all have the opportunity to have conversations that y'all normally weren't having access to, considering y'all could have different classes, you know what I'm saying, different time schedules, stuff like there's literally all kinds of things that can interfere at school, which I think is wonderful. Like being in class with your best friend and y'all are being distracted by doing your schoolwork is not called a distraction, it's called doing your objective for going to school. Now, texting in class and all that stuff, I don't agree with that. I don't agree you should have a phone in school. I don't agree you should have a gun in school either. So, there's that. So, I don't hear when people say, man, I should have my phone just in case somebody bring a gun. What? Why are guns being brought to school? But anyways, then you transition to high school. Now, if you were in middle school and you were touching people, fondling people, getting fondled, I'm sorry, especially if you were being taken advantage of. If you got taken advantage of in middle school or elementary school, I feel the most pain for you. I promise you I do. I've never been sexually assaulted as a child, and I thank God every single day for that. But for someone who has, I can't say that I relate to the feeling of that. However, I can understand the void that is created in you. Not having a father figure in my life, you know what I mean? And just always seeing dudes as just dudes coming and going, no matter who it was. Like, my stepdad, well, my mom's ex-husband, he had been in my life for like 10 years of us all living in the same household. And I still just looked at him as a man that was there. Like, he wasn't like my stepdad. You know what I'm saying? Like, stepdad to me just meant like my mom's dude. It didn't mean like the dude there for me, per se. Now I respect him a lot more now that I'm an adult, and I realize that the role of a stepdad is a lot more than, just getting a woman with a kid. It's more of you now respect this woman enough to be with her despite her having a child that's not yours. And you're willing to, pay for bills and pay for food and stuff to help raise this child that isn't yours. But we never had like father-son discussions, so I'm not even gonna talk about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We was always on some mutually understood that we didn't have to talk or hang out or anything like that. So I always respected the silence. You know what I mean? Like the silent treatment is what I learned from him. I guess. And that transitions, okay, to the high school. Like I said, if you were sexually assaulted, I'm so sorry. But in high school, I feel like at that point you were a lot more consciously aware of your decisions and a lot more inclined to do things that you know you shouldn't do. For example, when I was in high school, almost all my friends smoked weed. I might have smoked weed maybe 5 times in high school. All 4 years, like in the entire 4 years, I might smoke weed maybe five times max, maybe. Okay, because I knew that I wasn't an adult, so I shouldn't be making an adult decision. Because smoking itself is an adult decision, considering you have to be 18 to buy cigarettes and cigars. So if the act of smoking is an adult decision, me as a minor understood, wow, I'm not retarded. I'm not 18, so this isn't for me. But I'm not gonna get on that because I was retarded those 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not someone to condemn someone for doing something that I'm not doing. Now, the whole drinking alcohol thing, if you're understanding what alcohol is and you understand that alcohol is literally just a destroying property and you're willingly just putting it in your body over and over and over again for satisfaction that you're not even feeling, it's literally just to please other people usually, you're retarded. I'm going to say that because now you're destroying yourself at a very young age for no reward. You know what I'm saying? None at all. And I'm sorry for it. Like, I love you, but I'm sorry for it. Now, all this is to say that once you have all these interactions with these people and you're building all this trust and building all these relationships, all that is strictly how it should be from a distance. Then the intimacy in those relationships starts to grow. When you're intimate with your mother in a relationship, you're more inclined to tell her things about your life. You're more willing to accept things that she's telling you, life lessons. When you're more intimate with your friends, you're just as willing to do whatever you can for them, you know what I'm saying? But the worst type of intimacy is when it's strictly physical intimacy, and that is the foundation. So, here we go, the exchange. This is how I view it, okay? If you are a person that is a virgin, God bless you. God bless you every single day. God bless you. Okay, do not ever lose your virginity. Because if you save your virginity, you are the most, I'm not going to say pure or pristine, because, I mean, you could go murder 10 people and be a virgin, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to, like, praise you like that, but I will say you learn self-respect at a higher level when you've made it out of high school and you remain a virgin. Because I was a virgin throughout all of high school, and I watched the downfall of so many people in their relationships, and I watched how they failed to get in new relationships and failed to be able to trust people and stuff like that, all because they've given themselves. Because in my opinion, which is just my opinion, just a voice, but in my opinion, when you are a virgin, you are 100% of yourself, okay? Virgin. And whenever you have sex with someone, they should be a virgin, because they are 100% of themselves. Because once you're 100% of each other, basically, well, you're separate, but when you come together, you're exchanging half of that with them. Because now, 100 divided by the 2 is 50-50. That's how it goes. So now you've given 50% in exchange for their 50%. So now you're 100% y'all together. So this is why I understand what marriage, right? If you say, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in the Bible, so I don't care about waiting until marriage to have sex. Cool. Okay. That's on you. However, I understand the premise, considering once you have sex with people, your hormonal chemical balance in your brain changes to that person, your relationship with that person. Your mental cognitive state changes about how you feel and think about the actions involving that person. So if you don't care about that person emotionally and you're having sex with them, that is the worst thing to do, because now you've given yourself in the most intimate light, in the most intimate way to somebody that you don't even care about. So now you're literally just giving yourself away for free. That's equivalent to a prostitute and a porn star giving themselves away with no exchange for intimacy. Now they're just having sex, just the F word, just, you know what I'm saying, just strictly physical. You're not gaining anything, you're just strictly losing. Now, if you're both virgins and you give yourself 50-50, all right. Now let's say one virgin is so sad from y'all's falling out. Y'all aren't married, so y'all have no obligations to each other. y'all fall out. All right. Now you have 50% of yourself and 50% of the other person. But once you're separating yourself from that other person, you get rid of that 50%. So now your little 100% is of you and that other person is strictly just 50% you. You completely gotten rid of the idea of that other person. Okay. So now you're emotionally distraught, you're torn, you usually become insecure about this, you start hating yourself. Oh, what did I do wrong? Why did I do this? Blah blah blah. I'm not ever gonna do that. Let me build a wall. Let me start posting memes. Let me start, being more insecure on social media so people reach out to me. Alright? Blah blah blah. Then you meet somebody who's there for you emotionally. They understand everything you've been through. They're there for you every second of the day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are talking about everything. You love them. And then y'all have sex. Alright. Now you're giving yourself to 2 people. So now in this exchange, let's say they've only had sex with 1 person. Y'all are both giving 25% of yourselves. Because now you're carrying the load of the 50% of the first person and the 25% of the second person. Because every interaction is a splitting in half. Because once you've gone from the original seal and bond, because if you don't agree that having sex is an intimate thing and that it actually matters, then you're equating the physical touching to doing that with, like, if somebody walks by and they're talking and you flick the inside of their mouth, you're saying that is the same sensation. You're saying dapping somebody up is the same interaction. Shaking hands is the same interaction. They're all physical interactions. Alright? Scratching the back of somebody's head is the same as having sex with them. That's not the same. You must understand and recognize that intimacy is the difference. So, once you're splitting yourself again with the second person, because I've had sex with 2 people in my life. Alright, my second body was not an equal exchange. Okay, when I lost my virginity, I lost my virginity to a virgin. So when we had sex and it ended, I understood what just happened. Okay, I'm not a dumb person. I'm not gonna pretend to be dumb. I'm not gonna make excuses for anything that I've done. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I accept it. I understand what happened. But when I had sex with the second person, the exchange was not the same, because I had only had sex with 1 person in my life, and she had had sex with many, many, many people in her life. So her value of herself to herself was less than my value of myself to myself. So when I made that exchange, I lost more of myself than I was gaining of her. So it wasn't the same. So if you have 1 body and you have sex with somebody with 2 bodies, okay, they only have 25% of themselves intimately to give you. Because now you have to think about this. You're their 3rd body, okay? When you're their 3rd body, it's not necessarily for 25%. Okay, I lied. Because 50% and 25%, it'd be like, okay, 12 and a half. But now they have 12.5% to give to you, and they're giving it to you, and they love you for it because you're giving more of yourself to them. Now they're more inclined to be there for you. They're more inclined to seek you because they've already been broken twice. They don't want to be broken again. They're trusting in you, especially when you have less of a track record, because now you're going to look more stable. You're going to look more secure in yourself, because they're going to be like, wow, I didn't do the same thing as you, so I didn't respect myself as much. Or, wow, I wish I would have waited for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the worst thing to hear. If somebody ever says, I should have waited for you, they not for you, man. I'm sorry. Like, if they have to physically say that they should have waited for you and you've been waiting, they're not for you. Y'all are just ultimately just gonna fall out due to walls that have been built, scars that have been formulated, stuff like that. So I'm not here for none of that. I'm not here for virgin hoe relationships. And I don't mean hoe like on some, oh man, you got 3-4 bodies, you a hoe. I mean hoe as in you don't care about yourself and you're willing to look at sex as just physical interactions with people. When somebody tells me that to have sex is just strictly physical, I look at them as if they're crazy. Because if you're physically just willing to lay down and bust a nut, because that's what's happening. If you're willing to risk creating a life, risk losing your life to an STD, and all the in-betweens, just for the satisfaction of a moment's sensation, you are crazy. That's even worse than drug addicts, because drug addicts are at least com- doing something outside of themselves that is just destroying them alone, because now you're involving somebody else and you could be potentially destroying them, and that's, I don't think that's fair to people. So I'm not going to be out here supporting that. I'm not with that, you a hoe. And it's the end of that. So whenever you're having sex with people, man, I just want y'all to be mindful that not everybody's gonna be the same as you. Not everybody's gonna respect you. So when y'all are actually involving yourself in the sexual acts themselves, they might not be looking for the same intentions. I've met people that are literally just trying to have sex with me, and I just look at them like, you don't even know me, bro. I might give you AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't have AIDS, but they don't know that. They don't know me at all. We could be in the middle of kissing. I could stab them in their neck. They don't know anything about me. They just want to lay down with me and, you know what I'm saying, be about it. So what I advise is, if you get in a relationship, all right, if you've already been sexually active, then it's not too late, okay? If you've already been sexually active with 8 people, it's not too late. If you've had sex with 20 people, it might be a little late, but that's still your life. It's not mine, so whatever. But just understand this, that if every time you give yourself away to somebody else for free, you cannot hold expectations for anything back. Alright? If you think that a milkshake or going to the movies twice is worth having sex, then you don't care about yourself. If you think that because he's nice to you or because she's cute that y'all should have sex, you don't care about yourself. Sex is the most intimate part. There's a reason we wear underwear and then shorts, okay? Or underwear and then pants, or underwear and a skirt, whatever y'all are wearing. I don't know what y'all are wearing. But you notice that this part is getting covered twice. Why is that? Why is this the part that's being protected the most? Maybe it's the most valuable. And I'm just going to end it on that. I hope y'all have a good one. God bless y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Y'all be securing yourselves, and y'all love yourselves more. You know what I'm saying?